us to audit tons and tons of very large kind of e-commerce accounts all the time. We go into some accounts and they're immaculate. We go into some accounts and they're a mess, and they're being run by agencies that you'd hope would be kind of have everything very well dialed in, but actually it's pretty well unoptimized, and there's a lot of optimization that he's doing. And of course, when we first start working with a brand, one of the first things we do is optimize their account. We turn off things that aren't working, we optimize their assets, we audit what's going on, what's worked previously. On the Google side, what would you say is like kind of pretty common that you see most brands not doing correctly, or they don't use in Google, that is ultimately kind of holding them back or making them miss potential within their Google accounts that we see when we audit these accounts?
Yeah, there's all sorts of issues I often see. I think the number one that really grinds my gears is like attribution's off, like tracking's broken, or it's set up through analytics, which just doesn't track accurately. The attribution window can be really long. Sometimes I see some agencies do this. They'll make the window, I don't even remember how long you can make it, but just way too long, where it's over attributing sales and revenue. That can be huge. Branded, like agencies just spending like 80% of the budget on branded campaigns, like people that are already looking for your brand and ready to buy, which is that actually changing. It's good in some instances, which we can talk about, but I usually don't like it over 10% of our total budget, unless if there's tons of competition or whatnot. But most of the time it's like 10% or less. I want to see it. Some people you'll see it's like 50% or 80%. So the ROAS looks crazy high, but it's like people that were already going to buy. And then what else? Exclusions is a big one I often see. Like they're not excluding purchasers. They're not excluding negative keywords, branded keywords and things like that. So again, you might be having a campaign that's a search campaign or something, and it's just kind of mixing in all the branded searches into that. So it looks really good, but it's like, again, branded. It's kind of hidden there. A lot of just shady stuff that I'm like, oh, these guys are kind of like steer you in the wrong direction. Like I said, it's really easy to spend 80% of your budget on branded and to have like a 30x ROAS, but it's like that didn't actually drive incremental sales or a lift in your sales. So we really look at that and really want it to be, used as it should be used. It's definitely a higher intent platform for the most part. So performance can be really good on Google. But then when it comes to scaling, it can go lower with, YouTube and display and things like that. So I would say, the main things that I see is like conversion tracking isn't set up properly. Attribution windows are too long. There's maybe not an exclusion of audiences, and there's maybe not branded exclusions of keyword searches. Those are probably the main things that I'm seeing. In addition to, they're probably missing some campaigns that they should be running, or they're just doing search, not leaning into Performance Max or some of these new tools that Google's rolling out now post iOS. Or enhanced conversions. That's another one too, that a lot of people don't have turned on. That's another post iOS thing. So now you can send that data back on customer names, emails, all that post iOS. So you have to set that up. Enhanced conversions is what it's called. So that can sync with your Shopify and send back that Shopify data to Google, which helps give you a lift in conversion tracking, more accurate tracking. A lot of that I haven't seen turned on for people too.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I know. Tons. And I mean, like I say, we go into accounts every day, and some that have been managed by the founder. He's got no time on his hands. They look beautiful. They're optimized. They look good. And then you go into some accounts, they're spending $500,000 a month, and you're like, holy, what? This is completely optimized, and it's bizarre.